I appreciate the opportunity today to respond to the throne speech that we heard delivered yesterday by our new Lieutenant Governor in his first opportunity to do that. I've had a lot of opportunity recently to sort of think about different versions of Alberta, I'm really struck by how young Alberta is. Someone earlier mentioned an average age of 36 years old, I think. And it's true, we do have a very young population. We are really, all things considered, fairly prosperous. And before anyone leaps to their feet and starts telling me about how tough times and all that kind of thing, yes, but if you travel at all, you start to get a real understanding that we may have had some challenges here, but nothing like the challenges that they have faced in other places. So all things considered, we really are fairly prosperous and continue to be fairly prosperous. We are, and there's room for improvement, always, but we are quite well educated. We have opportunity for good education here that lots of other places in the world and even closer to us don't enjoy. I have someone that's on my constituency association who is a teacher here and was a teacher in New York. And boy, he can tell me about the differences in the quality and availability of good education. So there's lots of things that I would like to do to improve the education system and access to it. And I'm the daughter of two teachers, so kind of in our blood in my family. But really, we are fairly well educated. My brothers are in the trades. Actually, most of my extended family are in the construction trades. And I'm very grateful that we have an apprenticeship program, many different apprenticeship programs here in this province. And in some of those cases, the apprenticeship programs are run by the unions, which I am also very grateful to have in this province. And I know that's not something that's shared by my colleagues opposite, but I am grateful for the unions. I think they play a very important role in our labour force. I think they work hard to give us a quality of life. I think there's a number of things that we can thank them for today that they lobbied for and advocated for and brought into being, like a set work week of 5 days with weekends off and things like that. So, and in fact, a public education system really originally came out of the union labour movement. So I'm grateful for that because I think it gives us safer workplaces, and I really believe in the collective bargaining process. I think there's things that we could do in this province to make that better. That's a bit of a tough row for me to hoe in this province, given the current administration, but I'm not going to stop trying, because I do believe that there should be first contract legislation, and I think that there should be replacement worker legislation here as well. I think that's important to me. I think it's important to the labour movement here, and I would really like to see it in place. So overall, I think we are a hopeful and have every reason to be an optimistic province. As I said, that doesn't mean there isn't things that I wouldn't press you all very hard to change, and you know I will press you hard to change those things. But we are and can be a province of the 21st century. And that, Mr. Speaker, is why I was so puzzled by the throne speech that I heard the other day, yesterday, because it wasn't optimistic. It wasn't looking forward into the 21st century. And the ideas that were in there wasn't doing that. I was really puzzled by it because even today, in listening to the people from the government side, they've been bringing forward lots of ideas that I will probably talk about if I get enough time, but those ideas weren't in that throne speech. And I don't understand why. To me, it reflects a way of thinking that is about rushing back to try and recreate the 1950s. And that's just not where we are anymore. That's just not the province that we live in. And here's an example. We have fewer labor jobs here in Alberta. Increasingly, we've had robotics and other kinds of mechanics that have taken away the need for assembly line workers or piecemeal workers. So that kind of manual labor where you didn't really need a great education to be able to go in and get that kind of job, those are disappearing on us. And some would argue good, because they weren't great jobs to begin with. Okay, I'm not going to comment on that. But you say, all right, where are the new jobs coming from? Where are the jobs of the future? The kids that are in school now, what are they going to do? What's out there for them? So we're losing those sort of manual labor jobs that tended to sit at the bottom of our labor pool. Where are the new ones coming from? And we have a traditional grouping of jobs that are changing, but I think they're going to stay there. In health, in education, in the social services, even in the arts, as influenced as that is by new technology. I think those jobs are going to change, but they're mostly going to stay there. So where are the new jobs? What we keep being told is the new jobs are in a creative, knowledge-based, innovative sector. And it's about your brain, not your physical ability to heave stuff around. It's about how you can use your brain and your imagination. You know, one of the things that we're very successful at here in Alberta, those games that the internet games that you play, where they're all animated and they fight each other out in storylines. We're very successful at developing those games here, like BioWare. That company, that's what they do. They develop these online games. That comes out of Alberta. That's a knowledge-based, creative job sector. So that's where we're looking, that's where we need to move for the next grouping of jobs.